Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Heidi Wilde, and I am wild about wellness and all things energy and frequency and vibration and all about brain entrainment and how this can help us. So, I'm here to introduce Morry Zelcovitch, who is the creator and the brains behind MindTrainer Pro. So, today we're going to hear about a system that's called the Lean Mind Method. And with that, I'd like to ask you, Morry, to please open up and tell us a little bit about what is brain entrainment and what caused you to create this Lean Mind Method.
Sure. So brainwave entrainment basically takes advantage of natural facilities inside every human brain. People feel things, they interpret things, they react to things, different stimulation, things they see, things they taste, things they smell, touch. All these things influence our brainwave activity. And our brainwave activity influences our chemistry, the actual neural chemistry that your neurons, your brain cells actually produce. And it's that chemistry that actually allows you to feel or experience what you're experiencing. That's why you can have three people in an airplane, all of them about to jump out with parachutes. One of them is terrified, one of them is excited, and the third one doesn't really care either way. You have the same stimulus, but people are interpreting it differently. They're producing different neurochemicals, and that produces the excitement, the boredom, or the fear. So, what we do with brainwave entrainment is we expose the listener or the viewer to patterns, basically pulse tones, bump, 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 bump. And as we do that, our neurons follow those frequencies. It's called the frequency following response. And before those of you out there think that this is a lot of woo-woo, just think to the last time you were listening to your favorite song or your favorite band, and you were bopping your head mindlessly and tapping your toes mindlessly. That is a form of entrainment. So believe it or not, you've all experienced entrainment before. This is just specifically targeted to your neurons, to your brain cells. That allows your brain cells to follow the frequencies that I expose it to, which helps your brain to create the neural chemistry that we want, which helps you to feel calmer, smarter, faster, stronger, all these different things. What prompted me to come up with the lean mind method specifically was I came out of the shower one day and I was walking by the mirror. And I don't know if any of you know a guy. Do you know someone by the name of Alfred Hitchcock by any chance, Heidi?
I do. I've watched
So
that.
yeah, there used to be a show called Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and this guy would walk out in a sideways to the camera, perpendicular, and he had a big belly, and he laughed at his shape. So he had this big belly. Well, I walked by, happened to glance in the mirror, and I started hearing the theme song to Alfred Hitchcock Presents because I had this belly that looked like I was wearing a beach ball under my skin. It was hilarious and it was frightening all at the same time. So what I did was I decided, I need to do something about this. I shouldn't be looking like this. It's hard on my knees, it's hard on my back. I mean, just bending over to tie my shoelaces it hurt. It actually hurt. So I did research and I found different brainwave patterns that help, different modalities. I have a modality called triliminals where I speak to you in one ear, another one this ear, another one up here. And I created these systems that allow a different mindset. So I designed this lean mind method to change how I feel about food, how I think about food, how I behave around food. Now, when I get the urge to eat and it's not time to eat, or it's sweets or potato chips or something like that, I just reflexively think to myself, am I hungry? And my attention goes right down to my stomach. And my stomach, pretty much 99 out of 100 times, says, you're not hungry. And then I go, okay. And in those times when I'm a little bit eager and I really want something, I think back to when I used to smoke. And smoking, like eating, is very similar as far as addiction is concerned, in my view, because what happens is if I'm dying for a cigarette, I have a cigarette, 5 minutes later, it's gone. Well, if I'm dying to snack on a cupcake or a bowl of chips, 5 minutes later, it's gone. So, reflexively, because of using the lean mind method, my reflexes are you really hungry? And then my secondary reflex is, if you were to satisfy this urge, you're just going to be done eating in 5 minutes anyway. Why don't you just pretend it's 5 minutes from now?
Mm.
And like right away, the urge disappears.
And you had a significant impact, right? You've lost some
Oh,
weight.
yeah. I went from 102 kilograms down to 85,
Wow.
closer to 40. Yeah, but it was 3 months.
40 pounds in 3 months. Wow.
So it wasn't a lot, and it's changing how I think about food and how I eat. On a side note, I'm also going to bed 3 hours earlier now,
Mm.
which just kind of happened.
So many people struggle with the willpower and the motivation when it comes to, healthy eating, daily choices, movement. How does Lean Mind Method offer a different approach? And especially for those people that feel like they have tried everything.
Well, it's all about mindset. It's not about trying things that are external to you. It's about changing what's internal. That's the trick. So what Lean Mind Method does is it has 6 different recordings that you rotate through. Literally, I listen to one recording every day and I just rotate through them. The order doesn't matter. One of them is dealing with my conceptions around food, about healthy food, about physical movement. All these different areas are dealt with. And it's all about reprogramming what I call the negative reflexive thought process. An example of that is, oh, I got to eat. Or when the phone rings at midnight, oh my God, what's wrong? We instantly jump to these conclusions. What the lean mind method does is it gives you the opportunity to reprogram that thought process so you don't right away think of the worst thing or the thing that's detrimental to you. Now, the nice point is here, let's say you've listened to your recording and you still have a craving. Well, we have a recording in there called the Craving Killer. And that is a 15-minute recording that says, hey, you want to eat? No problem. Even if it's not time, you can still eat. But first, you have to listen to this 15-minute recording. And what that does is it takes advantage of a number of different, I guess, concepts of how the mind works and the brain functions in conjunction with the mind. And most of the time, you won't have the craving afterwards.
That is so interesting. One thing that I've noticed when I listen to these recordings, I feel a calmness come over me. I feel this inner state is shifting.
Yeah.
And I also feel very present.
So there is a frequency, you hear it as a pulse. Ba, 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 ba. It kind of sounds like a soft rhythm of an MRI, but it's a specific frequency that creates neurochemistry. It subtly affects the neurochemistry to the point where that elicits that kind of a response.
Mm.
Most people who listen actually don't remember listening beyond a few minutes.
Hmm. Wow.
And then it's over and they're back and they go, that's interesting. I don't even remember listening to it. It doesn't matter if you remember or not. Everything happens automated. It's all automatic,
Wow.
natural effects of the brain.
So cool how the brain works. So I know we
Yeah.
cannot make medical claims. And what I'm going to ask you about though is people have been training in their mind with the Lean Mind method prior to it launch. It recently launched, but prior to that, there were some folks testing it. I know a friend of ours, Mike, lost 19 pounds so far.
Yeah.
And another gentleman, Mo, lost a bunch of weight. Can you share a couple of the testimonials that you know of and how it's really helped people with their mind change, their weight loss?
Well, that's really what it's doing. I mean, again, and you're right, I can't make medical claims, and claiming weight loss is definitely, a medical claim. But I can say that it's designed to work with your mind, not your brain per se, but more with your mind. It's designed to change your mindset around food, around eating. And once we change things like that, it appears to create physiological changes in some people as well. Myself, Mike, Mo, a few other people as well have been using it as part of a test group. And it's really them losing the weight themselves. I hesitate to even say Lean Mind Method did it. Lean mind, that's what it's helping with. It's helping with a lean mindset.
Mm.
And then you're doing all the heavy lifting. or in this case, the lighter lifting, because you're not as heavy as you were. But
Okay.
really, that's how it works.
Oh,
Diets are problematic because a diet is something people do, and then, oh, great, I lost my weight. Now I'm going to go back to watching Netflix, having 15 Coca-Colas and 12 bags of chips with 12 chocolate bars. And then they gain weight, and then they go, oh, got a diet again. Diet is a temporary thing. A mindset is a forever thing.
yes.
And
And
that's what the trick is.
Morry, I have to say this. You have made this so accessible to people. So these systems are literally like 50 cents a day for a system, which includes several sessions within it. And I want to take a moment and thank you for that because there's a
Thank you.
lot of other systems that are included in the MindTrainer Pro, which I'll share the website in a couple minutes where you can look for that. The fact that it's $14.97 for a month for access, it's no pills, no potions. This is literally shifting our mind and our thought process. And when I listen to it, I hear all about chewing, all about mindful eating, all about choices, getting into the present and feeding this vessel that we've been given, this human body and, mind and spirit in a nourishing way. And it's been so helpful for me. I just began it a few days ago, and I'm listening once a day to one session. I'm choosing whatever one I feel intuitively, which you say we're our own gurus
Yeah.
to choose whichever one. So, what would you like to say to wrap this up before we close? As
Well, your brain, your mind is the most important tool you have in your life. Without information passing through your brain, you don't know it's there. It's really that simple. I'd like people to realize that they have all the power, they have everything they need already. And Lean Mind Method and my other systems are designed to help you optimize your use of your mind, of your brain. This is not my system teaching you something. This is my system helping you to find the key to unlock the door to what's in you already.
Mm,
Everybody has what's good, everybody has what they need. One of the reasons why you feel good sometimes and one of the reasons why you feel bad sometimes is for the same valuable reason, to tell you you're either doing and thinking the right thing or doing and thinking the wrong thing. So pay attention to how you feel and don't be upset and don't think, oh, God hates me, the world hates me if life isn't so wonderful right now. That's actually a red light on the dashboard of your life. And if you pay attention to it, a $5 quart of oil might just save the engine of your life. But if you ignore it, your engine might seize and who knows what happens from there. So
great
pay
analogy.
attention and be grateful.
Great analogy. And our thoughts create
Thank you.
our life,
Yeah,
and it's all energy. So, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for
pleasure.
creating this amazing platform to give people tools, tangible, daily, accessible, easy to obtain tools. If anybody is listening and would like to check this out, go to HeidiWilde.com/MTP. That's for Mind Trainer Pro. I'll say it again, Heidi Wilde, HeidiWilde.com/MTP. You can choose one system, you can choose a bundle, you can choose a all month access and have access to all the systems unlimited, and go give it a try because Maura, you say we are our own gurus
Yeah.
and our brains are can shift the neural pathways and we can have the amazing life that we're here to have.
That we're supposed to have.
Exactly. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, have a great day.
Thank you.